Break out of the Earth. Chapter 1 Bounty Hunter. In the first year of the Earth's new calendar, a spaceship fell from the sky, and 5 aliens walked out of the ship. They were tall and slender. The aliens have no malicious intentions, but instead bring a lot of incredible technologies. This year is called the New Earth Calendar, the first year of the star. Within 10 years, the aliens demonstrated their extraordinary wisdom and were worshipped by the people as gods. But no one expected that on a very ordinary day in the 11th year of Xingyuan, 17 huge spaceships would rise into the sky, and the gods, carrying tens of millions of people on Earth, would disappear into the vast universe. On the night when the spacecraft disappeared, strange weather occurred on the entire Earth. The bad weather lasted for months, and countless people died. Then the riots first appeared, and the civilized world was in chaos because the gods took away the top leaders of governments and a large number of top talents. Then came the disease, a strange disease sweeping the globe, killing billions of people. A small number of people who survived the disease developed mutations. There were various types of mutations, among which strength and speed mutations were the most common. The mutations of animals and plants are relatively complex, with powerful and ferocious animals, unpredictable plants, and the entire Earth's ecosystem reshuffled. In just 3 years, the Earth was riddled with holes, the original order was destroyed, and technology and civilization were set back by decades. This period of time is known as the Great Tribulation. Our story takes place 4 years after the catastrophe, when the Earth enters a short-term stable state. In the winter of the 18th year of Xingyuan, the land of China, the northern base of bounty hunters. On the hunter mission list, at number 197, a man named Yi Fei appeared. He took on a level 3 difficulty mission to hunt down 9 direwolves. Yi Fei looked at this task and smiled bitterly. It was the first time he was qualified to be on the hunter list, and he was assigned such a task. It seemed that he was in danger this time. The direwolf is a mutant wolf species that is all white, extremely fast and cunning. It is a social animal and is extremely difficult to hunt. But Yi Fei had no choice. The Bounty Hunter Alliance stipulated that if he refused any task posted on the hunter list, his deposit of 500 gold would be deducted. 500 gold is 50 grams of gold. This is equivalent to 1/3 of Yi Fei's entire wealth. For money, he would not refuse. After the mission of the 9 snow direwolves is completed, he will receive a bounty of 1,000 gold. In today's world, this money is at least enough for a person to live for a year. After the catastrophe, the total population on the Earth was less than 1/5 of the original, and the living conditions of mankind were worrying. Those who survived had to struggle every day for food and clothing. Avoiding starvation and freezing to death was already the daily goal of most people. Yi Fei walked back to his residence, took out his tablet, and began to study the details of the mission carefully. As a bounty hunter who has just entered the industry, Yi Fei's record is pretty good. He went on 17 missions, completed 15 of them, and gave up only twice. It is because of this kind of record that he is qualified to be on the hunter list. Although he is ranked very low, the mission bounties on the hunter list are very high. Any mission is incomparable to those who work casually. After reading the introduction of the direwolves, Yi Fei felt increasingly unsure. His own combat power could only deal with 3 or 4 direwolves at the most. 9 direwolves attack at the same time. If he doesn't dodge quickly, the wolves can tear him to pieces in an instant. And the snow wolf pack usually has at least 20 wolves. What to do? Yi Fei fell into deep thought. In the bounty hunter leisure area, idle hunters gathered together in 2s and 3s. Some were drinking and bragging, and some were playing cards and gambling. For these people who lick blood from the edge of a knife, there may be no tomorrow after today. Carpe diem is more important than anything else. Suddenly, a skinny man said, "Look, there is an outsourcing task." He held up the tablet and asked the people around him, "Are you guys interested?" Several people who were playing cards stopped and asked, "What mission?" Hunt 9 direwolves, 100 gold. After hearing this, several people laughed. The person who sent the mission must be crazy. A direwolf can be sold for 80 gold on the black market. If you kill 9, you will be given 100 gold. Who will sacrifice their life for him? That's true. The skinny man put down the tablet with some disappointment. He didn't have many tasks recently, and the money in his hand was almost spent. It's not a problem to keep wasting it like this. Suddenly, he became excited again. Look, the bounty has been increased to 200 gold. This sentence caught everyone's attention, and they all looked at the tablet. Wait a little longer. Maybe there will be more. Sure enough, after another 5 minutes or so, the bounty continued to increase and became 250 gold. The skinny man looked at a dark-skinned man and said, "Brother, do you want to pick it up?" The big black man frowned. The bounty is still too small. This kind of mission must be issued by the hunter list, and then the person who takes the mission outsources it. I estimate that the bounty should be 700 to 800 gold. When he increases it to 400 gold, we will take it. Damn it, everyone who gets on the hunter list is a profiteer. Only 250 gold is given out for 800 gold. Boss, when can we get on the hunter list? The big black man smiled bitterly. You lazy fools, like you still want to be on the hunter list. Our success rate in accepting missions is less than 50%. It's weird that the Alliance will let us be on the hunter list. That's because we are unlucky. In fact, I think our strength should be pretty good. The Alliance is also very cunning. Only 200 people can see the missions on the hunter list. If we adopt the mode of whoever is quickest will get the mission, I, Hosan, can guarantee that all the good missions will be ours, said the thin man. You know how to brag. Several people laughed at Hosan. Monkey 3 didn't mind either and laughed along while keeping his eyes on the tablet. After another 10 minutes, there was still no change in the amount of the bounty, and Hosan was already impatient to wait. The big black man was also a little anxious. As the eldest brother of the team, he had to be responsible for these brothers. Because the success rate of their team's previous missions was too low, they had not received assigned missions for many days. In a few days, when all the money in their pockets is spent, they will not even have money for food. The big black man thought of his two sweethearts and couldn't help but sigh to himself. If they didn't have money, they would definitely turn to others. Still not added? No. The other three looked at the big black man expectantly. The big black man sighed. Take it. Ho-san quickly clicked on the tablet. The tablet dinged. You have successfully received the task. The following is the contact information of the task publisher. Please contact the publisher within the specified time. This task is an outsourcing task. If the task is successful, you will receive a reward of 250 gold. If the task fails, there will be no reward, and your deposit will not be deducted. After listening to the tablet's mission introduction, the big black man stood up and greeted the other three people. Brothers, I won't say any more. Copycat guys, get ready to do it. Yifei stared at the computer screen. He knew that for the Snow Wolf mission, the bounty of 250 gold was indeed not much. It would be best if he could find a helper. If he couldn't find a helper, he would do it himself. The risk would be higher, but he could save 250 gold. Someone took over the mission. Yifei was stunned at first, then overjoyed. There is actually someone willing to take this kind of order. This increases the success rate by at least 40%. Looking at the resume of the person who took the order, Yifei was a little disappointed. The Fire Phoenix team has been established for 2 years, with 4 members and 1 off-road vehicle. The total mission success rate is 37%. With a success rate of 37%, you can imagine what kind of people these are. Yifei shook his head. There was no other way. You get what you pay for. It would be great if someone was willing to take on this kind of task. Chapter 2, Abandoned Planet. At Yifei's residence, the black man and his 3 brothers were negotiating with Yifei. Boss Yi, my name is Li Kuei. You can also call me Black Tornado. Li Kuei pointed to the 3 people behind him. The short and thin one is called Hosan. The one with glasses in the back is the engineer in our team and my cousin. His name is Liwei. We all call him Cobra. And the older one is called Lao Bai. This is our Fire Phoenix team. Yi Fei nodded towards them. These people are older than Yi Fei, who looks to be only in his early 20s. I didn't expect Boss Yi to be on the hunter list at such a young age. He must have some abilities. I don't dare take it seriously. It's just good luck. Boss Yi can fight to the top of the hunter list by himself. It's really impressive. But what I'm confused about is that someone as powerful as you doesn't even have a car, and you still have to use our car, and your bounty is just that small. This is a bit inappropriate. I'm really too poor and have no money to buy a car. Besides, I can't drive, so I'm asking you guys to help me. Several people couldn't help laughing. Such a young man couldn't drive? Li Kuei looked at Yi Fei and said nothing. If this kind of outsourcing task is canceled, Fire Phoenix team's deposit will not be deducted, but the success rate of the task will be lowered. So Li Kuei doesn't have much psychological burden. Yi Fei understood what he meant. He didn't have that much time to spend here, so he said directly, I know the bounty is not high and you guys are not happy. In this way, I will add an extra 50 gold and pay it now. It will be used as the money for renting your car. Li Kuei thought for a moment and nodded. Boss Yi, your brother is also a real person. Okay, that's it. I wish us a successful completion of this mission. After saying that, he stretched out his right hand. Yi Fei also stretched out his hand, and the two shook it hard. From the force coming from his palm, Yi Fei judged that Li Kuei was a power mutant. The two looked at each other and smiled. Yi Fei took out the mission card where he saved money and transferred 50 gold to the Fire Phoenix team's card. Li Kuei was very happy to see Yi Fei so cheerful. As soon as they left, they packed their bags and walked towards the Fire Phoenix team's car. This is a huge modified pickup truck that can seat 7 people in the front cab and has an open bed at the back. Yi Fei was very satisfied with the car. The open compartment could be used to hold the hunted direwolves. How about it, brother? My precious car is pretty good, right? I spent a lot of money to modify it. Your 50 gold is definitely worth it. Li Kuei laughed loudly and then shouted to Liwei, Cobra, Lao Bai, the car is full of gas. Monkey 3. Are the weapons ready? Ho San and others were loading the car with the things needed for this mission. They were very busy. They had not been on a mission for a long time, and they were all a little excited. And this time I am going on a mission with people on the hunter list, so I must perform well. In their opinion, the people on the hunter list are all great masters in the bounty hunting industry. Several people worked hard and finally packed it up. Yi Fei's luggage was very small, just 2 packages, one for weapons and the other for clothes and compressed food. After getting in the car, Yi Fei, as the boss, sat in the passenger seat, Cobra Liwei drove, and the rest of the people sat in the back. The car slowly drove out of the hunter's base. When the door behind it closed, everyone in the car understood that their adventure had begun. After observation, Yi Fei felt relieved. This so-called Fire Phoenix team was a team that didn't think much. In their eyes, doing tasks, getting money, having fun, doing tasks again, and repeating them is their entire life. They strictly abide by the rules of the bounty hunter and muddle along. Outside the base, it had just snowed, and it was completely white. Not long after the car left the base, many ragged people suddenly appeared from all around and blocked the car. Liwei had to step on the brakes. As soon as the car stopped, the group of people immediately gathered around. Most of the crowd were elderly people, with a few young women among them, some holding children in their arms. Everyone, please do me a favor. I haven't eaten for several days. Please give me something to eat. Liwei looked at Yi Fei with a troubled expression, which meant that you are the boss. You tell him what to do. Yi Fei took out some biscuits from his bag and threw them out. People outside rushed to grab them. Liwei seized the opportunity and stepped on the accelerator, and the car rushed out of the crowd. In the rearview mirror, those people were in a mess, mixed with some screams. Everyone in the car looked solemn. In the last days, These poor people can be found everywhere. Human life is as cheap as a piece of grass. Those who have no ability or are unlucky will be considered good if they can survive. Yi Fei closed the car window and looked into the distance in silence. The Earth now is full of abandoned people. This is an abandoned planet. Ho San suddenly said, "It's good to be alive. Why do you talk so much nonsense?" Lao Bai said with an unhappy expression. It was an unpleasant topic and no one else answered. But everyone knows that this is a fact. The ascension of the gods, as well as the humans who never returned, left huge psychological trauma on the remaining people. Regardless of whether they had loved ones on board those ships, it was clear to the people on Earth that they had been abandoned, either because they are not good enough because they are poor or because they do not have good genes. Yi Fei sighed secretly. At this time, Li Wei said, "Brothers, don't be too pessimistic. We are pretty good. At least we have the ability to survive. We have enough food and clothing. We are much better than those people outside." No one answered his words, and Yi Fei felt that the atmosphere was too dull. If this continued, morale would be lost. "Let's play a song and listen to it," Yi Fei suggested. Li Wei nodded, plugged in a USB flash drive, adjusted it, and the melody of a song floated out of the speaker. "Don't say there are many obstacles in the green hills. The wind is strong and strong. White clouds passing over the mountain peaks can also convey feelings. Don't say there are many changes in the water. The water is clear and the water is still. Tenderness is like water. Love will last forever. Not afraid of the strong wind blowing away love. Love is always there in thousands of rivers and mountains. Gathering and separation are also destined by heaven. Don't blame God or fate. But I hope the mountains and rivers can bear witness." Li Kuei hasn't spoken since he got in the car. He is usually carefree and heroic, but he has a delicate mind that is very different from his appearance. Li Kuei's mother died young, and he was raised by his father. When the catastrophe broke out, Li Kuei mutated into a power mutant, which was a blessing in disguise. But the process of his mutation was extremely painful. During that time, he was very weak and his father took care of him day and night. They were driven out of the house by a group of people and became the same wanderers as the ragged people just now. Those days were extremely difficult. Together with the homeless, I was begging everywhere and suffered all kinds of insults, beatings, and scoldings. In the end, his father starved to death on the street the day before he mutated. He never felt that the ascension of the gods had anything to do with him, nor did he feel that he was abandoned. He only hated the sequelae caused by the ascension incident, which directly brought the whole world into doomsday. Everyone in the car had their own thoughts and was speechless all the way. The bounty hunters' northern base was built on the edge of the city. They did not pass through the city and quickly drove to the suburbs. The direwolf gathering place is 2 days' drive from the base. Li Wei's driving skills are very good, and he is very proficient. It didn't take long for everyone in the car to fall asleep. Li Wei opened the window and lit a cigarette. It was getting dark outside, and the afterglow of the setting sun was imprinted on Li Wei's face. He looked at the scenery in a daze. If this were not the end of the world, where would I be? If I were chosen by the gods, where would I be? For those who are far away and those who have died, what is the meaning of living in this life? Chapter 3: Predator Sneak Attack. After driving for some unknown time, the car stopped. It was already dark and the road was covered with snow, making it difficult to move forward. Yi Fei and Li Kuei discussed it and decided to spend the night in the wild. The nearest hunter hotel is still 4 or 5 hours away by car. The road conditions are relatively poor and heavy snow has buried the road. It is too risky to venture on the road. A few people found a dry place and set up camp with the car as the center. After setting up their respective tents, Lao Bai quickly lit the campfire and prepared some food. Li Kuei walked up to Yi Fei and handed him a cigarette. Yi Fei took the cigarette and said thank you. Li Kuei lit it for him, and then lit one himself. "Brother Yi, have you always been on missions alone? Don't have a team?" Yi Fei nodded and said, "I haven't found the right one yet." "You can make it to the hunter list alone, brother. What a skill." After speaking, Li Kuei extended his thumb. "It's just shitty luck. I envy you very much. You can have a group of brothers who share life and death together and take care of each other." Li Kuei laughed twice. Although his brothers were average in ability, they were all good, and he was deeply proud of them. They are all forced by the world. My cousin, Li Wei, faced a catastrophe after graduating from college. He didn't even have to live a day as a white-collar worker, so he followed me through the fire. Lao Bai was originally a cook, and his family was gone. He was about to commit suicide that day, but I rescued him, and he has been following me since then. Don't look at Ho San. He turned out to be a policeman with good skills. We met during the mission and got along well with each other. He also joined our team. After saying that, Li Qiruo gave Yi Fei a meaningful look. The world is too chaotic, and Li Kuei gradually feels powerless with these people. He wants to recruit Yi Fei to join the group. With this person on the hunter list joining, everyone's safety will be more guaranteed. Yi Fei nodded in understanding. As long as everyone works together, nothing is impossible. I believe this mission will be successful. When Li Kuei saw that he didn't answer the conversation, he didn't say anything anymore. He was so forceful that it didn't make sense. At this time, Lao Bai invited everyone to eat. The two of them pinched their cigarette butts and walked towards the bonfire. Lao Bai was worthy of being a cook. With just a few condiments, he cooked a pot of delicious thick soup. Yi Fei, who was used to eating canned and compressed biscuits, almost licked the bottom of the bowl clean. It had been a long time since he had eaten something so delicious. On the other hand, everyone else is used to it. Ho Sen also muttered in a low voice, "It's a bit too bland." Lao Bai glared at him and shouted, "If you don't like drinking, get out." I like it very much. My Mr. Bai, I like everything you cook." Lao Bai stopped caring about him and looked directly at Yi Fei. Yi Fei quickly stood up and walked to the pot to fill up another bowl. "Brother Bai, your skills are amazing. As long as Bossy likes it, I, Lao Bai, don't have any skills, so I can help you with chores and cooking. I hope you won't dislike it." Brother Bai is so polite. I haven't eaten such delicious food in a long time. I have to say, thank you. Lao Bai smiled happily. After eating and drinking, everyone tidied up. When camping in the wild, safety comes first. Several people arranged to take turns to stay on duty at night, with 2 people working in pairs, Yi Fei and Ho San in a team working the first half of the night, and Li Kuei and Lao Bai working in the second half of the night. Since Li Wei had to drive and needed to be refreshed, he was not assigned to be on duty. The night in the north was surprisingly cold, so Lao Bai added some compressed fuel to make the bonfire burn brighter. Then several people who were not on duty for the night got into their respective tents. Yi Fei and Ho San were left alone. Ho San smiled brightly at Yi Fei and threw him a cigarette. Yi Fei took the cigarette, lit it, and took a deep breath. Then he blew out a smoke ring, which gradually grew larger and slowly floated towards the bonfire. Ho San imitated him and wanted to blow out a smoke ring. He tried for a long time without success, so he had to give up. After smoking, Ho San took out a small notebook and wrote something down in it. Seeing that Yi Fei was a little confused, he said to him, "I don't have any hobbies at ordinary times. I just like to write something. If I die one day, it can prove that I have been in this world. Don't you think so?" "This is a good hobby. I heard from Brother Li Kuei that the 3rd brother was a policeman before, right?" "Well, it's all in the past. Before the disaster, the policeman I had a relationship with was not a good policeman. Then the disaster came, my wife died, and I struggled to survive." Ho San said calmly, "Before the catastrophe, Monkey 3 was not a good person in the strict sense. He took advantage of his status as a police officer, took bribes, and did a lot of bad things. Later, his wife died of illness, and the world was in chaos. He and his former colleagues became bounty hunters, but they were always disliked by their colleagues. With his relatives gone and his social status gone, Ho-san was disheartened for a while. Later, he met the bold Li Kuei during a mission and fell in love with him so much that he joined the Fire Phoenix team. The more you experience, the less you see it. Now he just wants to spend his life slowly with these close brothers, eating, drinking, whoring, and gambling. Yi Fei nodded and was about to speak when suddenly a white shadow passed behind Ho-san. The white shadow was very fast and very large. Yi Fei quickly stood up, made a silencing gesture to Ho-san, and pointed behind him. Ho-san immediately understood, pulled out a short knife from his waist, and turned to look. The white shadow flashed past and disappeared somewhere. Yi Fei and Ho-san walked to the place where the white shadow passed by and found a group of animal footprints. It seems to be the footprints of a mutated fox or wolf. Could it be a snow wolf? Ho-san asked. It shouldn't be a dire wolf. The dire wolf is a bit bigger, and the dire wolf only appears in the Mongolian grasslands. If you encounter dire wolves at this time, the problem is simple. Snow wolves appear in groups, with at least a dozen in a group. Yi Fei and the others only need to kill 9 to complete the mission. We still have to be careful. Don't hunt into a pack of wolves and let the wolves hunt us again. Ho-san stood up and said, "Well, I'm going to take a pee and take a look around. I'll be back soon." Yi Fei nodded. Monkey 3 turned around and ran behind a slope. Just as he was about to unbutton his pants, a sound broke through the air. Ho-san quickly rolled on the spot, and an arrow was inserted into the place where he was standing. Ho-san couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. If he reacted slower, he would have to answer for it. Several figures vaguely appeared on the snow, and there were more and more people. Ho-san did not dare to neglect and quickly sent the signal. Yi Fei hurriedly ran to Ho-san. The remaining members of the Fire Phoenix team also reacted quickly and got out of the tent with weapons in hand. 30 or 40 people in ragged clothes quickly gathered on the snow, surrounding Yi Fei and the others. The expressions of these people were dull and numb, which seemed to be caused by long-term malnutrition, but their eyes were cold and greedy. They looked at Yi Fei and the others as if they were looking at a delicious meal. Li Kuei whispered, "It's a predator." Yi Fei nodded. This was the first time he met such a person, but he had always heard that predators were like locusts, swarming in groups and waiting for opportunities on the edge of the city. Rob those who are alone. There are even rumors that there are also many cannibalistic groups among the predators. Brothers, we belong to the bounty hunter organization. I don't know if you are surrounding us to make friends or to use knives. We will accompany you in everything. Li Kuei glanced at these predators and found that these predators didn't even have decent weapons. Although their team strength was nothing among the bounty hunters, it was more than enough to deal with these people. No one spoke to the predator, but he still looked at them, with a faint green light in his eyes. Several people were stared at with fear, and Ho-san cursed. "What the hell are you going to do? I'm not a beauty. Why are you staring at me?" A woman's voice came from somewhere. "I don't do anything. I just want your lives." Chapter 4: Fierce Battle.